Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be checking out of what could be coming with this upcoming potentially active pattern that will be going in really for the rest of February into early March here. This is definitely something we gotta watch pretty closely here. So we're gonna take a look to some modeling here. And this could bring us out of either some severe weather events or it could bring some big time well, a lot of rain I should say. But let's go and get started with the CFS Weekly here. Now, this is valid February 23rd through March the 2nd, and this is just an average for these next 7 days. And you can see here, just by looking at this, you got a pretty nice southeast ridge going on across the southeast, and then you got troughing across the west here. Pretty classic severe weather setup for sure. And when we have a setup like this, typically you can see the chance for some severe weather kind of within this zone here, roughly. And there could also be a decent amount of rain in this zone here. And if we take a look into the precipitation here, you can see here, I'm definitely noticing this ball here is increasing some of the precipitation numbers. Generally in this region here, I mean, Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, into northeastern Arkansas, into western Tennessee. Um, Definitely noticing it's been kind of going up and down with some of these precipitation numbers, but either way here, this doesn't come up on the model that often. I mean, you're talking about an average of 2 to 3 inches of rain for in the 7 day period. So definitely something we're gonna watch here. We're definitely starting to see California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona trying to dry out here, especially across California. They're even the southeast starting to dry, and even across portions in the northeast. You also notice across the desert southwest to a good chunk of Texas and western Oklahoma start to dry out as well, out across those regions there as well. Let's take a look to the MSLP. So this kind of shows us where some of these lows and highs could be. And looks like we could have ridging out here, really across the southeast. So you guys will likely be stay warm and dry. But when we get to these blue colors, that's where we can see some of those low pressure systems could be around. And you can notice here across the the plains, generally looks like we have some lows here. So your average low track maybe something like this here. And where we had that precipitation, it shows a good amount of precipitation generally in this region right here. It's could lead to the chance for some multiple rounds of severe weather. But what I've noticed with the medium range guidance has more of the lows track more this way here than just continuing up to the northeast here. And there's going to be a big difference between these two. If you have a low that's going to keep on moving up into the upper Midwest, you can have severe weather threats across these regions here. Now, if it moves this way here, you can see more of a flash flood threat than severe weather threat across these regions here, like the medium guidance shows, with maybe the chance for some severe weather. Let's take a look into some under modeling here. This is the GFS ensembles here. Now, this is just a mean of the 500 millibar winds here. And as we kind of get into later this weekend here, so this is February the 28th on Sunday, we got divergence going on here. And when we have divergence here, you can get thunderstorms to develop into the atmosphere. Now, if it's like this here, like up here, thunderstorms can't develop. Those winds are going to be too strong. You don't have much divergence to work with. So thunderstorm, it's not going to be favorable for thunderstorms. But when we have something like this here, you can have some thunderstorms that could possibly develop out across some of those regions there as well. And it looks like it kind of goes away as we kind of go into really generally. Looks like it may continue into maybe Monday, but it seems like it kind of goes away there. And then as we kind of get further out here, we kind of go back to the same pattern, like in this period there. But that's good to change here. But the main focus time period looks to be late this weekend into early next week here. Looks to be your prime time frame to what could be either severe weather or it could be more of a flash flood setup here. So let's look into the GFS V16, and I don't really show this on channel that often, but this is going to be the new version of the GFS that's going to be replacing the old GFS. And if I'm correct, the new version of GFS has so far been better than the GFS or the older GFS, I should say, which that's what it's supposed to do. I mean, that's the main goal here, to improve the GFS here. And if I'm correct, I think it's done better than the older GFS, which is good news to hear. So yeah, now very quickly here, probably as we kind of get into uh looks to be Thursday night into Friday, the Deep South could experience some multiple rounds of showers with thunderstorms. You guys could see a couple inches of rain out across those regions there as well. Then as we kind of get to Sunday, this is when things start to get a little active. You can see here as we kind of get into early Sunday morning, you got showers of thunderstorm activity across the lower Hall Valley. And then as we kind of get to this point here, you can see there's another round of some showers of thunderstorms here. Doesn't look to be much of a favorable severe weather setup. I mean, by the looks here, by the indication by the uh, GFS V16, looks like there'll be a cold front here, so there may be a chance for some severe weather across some of those regions there within some of those thunderstorms. But either way, it's going to put down a lot of rain, and that's how we're going to be kind of looking into there. And there goes another system, and there's another system right there. And those will be systems to watch kind of later down the road there as well. Let's take a look how much CAPE could be at the surface here. So this is kind of helps thunderstorms build up. It's kind of what this is here. You can see here we got some instability at the surface, generally across central Texas into southeastern Texas. Now for this time of year, uh, for the CAPE values, really over 500, favorable for severe weather, but when we get over 1,000, that's a little bit more favorable for some severe weather this time of year. As we kind of get into meteorological spring, and as we kind of get into Monday, your severe weather's the potential for severe weather is a little further south, and you can see here Mississippi back down to Louisiana, southeastern Texas. Now the difference here would be that if your lows will be a little bit kind of moving in this direction here, goes up this way here, a lot of your instability will be pushed a little bit further north here than what it shows here. With the medium range guidance, it's more like this here, and your severe weather threat is much further south. So there's a decent difference there with the low track, and it's really good to determine if we're going to have big time severe weather setups or it's just going to be mainly flash flood setups. That's what we're kind of looking at right now, is more flash flood setups with that there as well. We'll take a look to the 500 millibar winds here. Going to let this load for a little bit. My internet's been a little bit slow tonight. And here we go. So you can see here of your first round of heavy rain that could be possibly going on across the deep south. You can see here we do have some divergence going on, and that's where you're going to get some of your thunderstorm activity. Let me get a different color here. Let's do it yellow. So areas down here, you guys could experience some multiple rounds of showers of thunderstorms. As we kind of move further down the road here, where we kind of get that big time setup here, you can see here where we have these little patches here and there. That's going to be some thunderstorms within in some of those areas there. And you can see here where we do have some divergence going on. That's where you're going to get some of your most active thunderstorms. And especially as we kind of get into Sunday evening, now you got a decent amount of divergence going on here. And there may be a chance some of those could be strong to severe. I'm going to have to look and see what the, well, we can look into that, see how much wind energy these storms has. Now, an instability at the surface, there's pretty much zero. But let's see here how much wind energy is, which is at 850 millibars. If I looks at the 500 millibars, looks like some of these storms here may have some strong winds with it. That'd be something to watch here. We'll definitely have to look and see what the trends could be going. So far, the models have been trending a little bit further north. This used to be further south, but it doesn't look to be that way anymore. Yeah, here we go. Basically, right in this time period here. You can see here where thunderstorms kind of goes through the clouds, really through 800 millibars. Winds at 850 millibars just to the south of it, which is probably could be within some of these thunderstorms as well. Really around 50 knots, and yeah, that's more of strong thunderstorm territory than severe thunderstorm territory. But again, it's a little bit too early for the Pacifics, and we still have some uncertainties with that system there as well. Now let's talk about how much rain could possibly fall here, and that's kind of the biggest concern now. Earlier today, really for the past couple days, where a lot of us out across really the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, back down to the Severn Plains, we've been really experiencing much milder temperatures for the past couple days, which led to snow and ice melting very, very quickly, especially in my area. I mean, a lot of the snow, what I had 2 days ago, about 4 or 5 inches of snow and ice, now it's pretty much gone today. Temperatures today in my area were upper 50s to low 60s. Very pleasant temperatures, but man, that snow and ice has been melting very quickly, which actually caused some minor flooding issues. And it's made the ground very saturated, which I think that's going to improve over time. It's just that the ground's not able to kind of keep up, soaking all that water on the ground. So I think it will improve over time, but hopefully if it does improve over time, because if it does not improve till this event here, then there's going to be a higher chance for some of us to see some flooding issues out across some of these regions here. And you can see there's quite a wide range here, but there's two different events going on here. So you got the first event, which is like kind of around Thursday, Friday, Saturday, out across looks to be southern Arkansas into northern Mississippi, northern Alabama to northern Georgia. Then you got your next round of rain, which looks to be the big one right now. It's got some of the better rainfall totals, really from central Arkansas through northwestern Tennessee, southeastern Ohio, most of Kentucky, into portions of West Virginia there as well. So yeah, and you can see here what the GFS V16 is spitting out. Possibly some areas could see close to 6 inches of rain, which is a lot of rain. Here's the original GFS here, and you can see it's a little bit similar. Has something similar areas getting in with a lot of rain, but it's just a little further south. But it still has areas picking up possibly up to 5 inches of rain. If we look into the European model, and this is much further south, it's actually more focused across central Tennessee, northern Mississippi, southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana to eastern Texas. It's got a swath of 6 to 7 inches of rain, which is a whole lot of rain when you think about it. But the European mall has been doing pretty rough latest winter, so I will not really buy that. I think that's going to trend a little further north than what some of the other models are showing. This is the Canadian model. It's a little bit further north. Well, it's actually a little further south in some places, but it still shows a general 5 to 6 inches of rain across a lot of these regions here. Really across eastern Tennessee, southwestern Virginia, southern half of Tennessee, southern Arkansas, northeastern Texas, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and even into western North Carolina. Do I think it's going to verify? I think, again, it's probably going to trend a little further to the north, but we'll see. So far, what I've seen by the models, they've been kind of trending further north. At least that's something I've been noticing. UK Met, that's not good for the entire event, but it also has some areas picking up over 6 inches of rain, really across southern Kentucky, central and western Tennessee, and really into southern and eastern Arkansas could experience a lot of rain here. And almost forgot about something, and that's going back to the GFS ensembles here. Let's look into the mean here, actually. So this is the mean. This is all members here averaged out. So kind of going for most of the event here, and again, kind of coming in two ways. You also notice here, it's probably going to be a pretty active pattern across the northwest as well, especially in those higher elevations up there. But going back down across the lower Hall Valley, Tennessee Valley, back down to the Arlington region, you got areas really as a mean 3 to 4 inches of rain, which is a pretty decent mean from the ensembles, definitely for sure. But stuff that I've been noticing here, it's been trending a little bit further north. So, do I think the northern trend continue? I think so. I mean, going back to the CFS V2, it's been very consistent with the placement of the precipitation, which is now starting to increase its number. Something I've noticed here. And I tell you what, it's pretty common to have a setup like this. I mean, especially across southwestern Kentucky and some of the surrounding areas as well. I mean, these areas get slammed by rain. I mean, if we're going to see here in Kentucky, for example, if we're going to see a heavy rain event, it's always southwestern Kentucky getting most of the rain. Could it happen this time? It's certainly possible, but it's definitely been pretty common for the past several years. Definitely for sure. Definitely something interesting I want to note there as well. So I think the malls may trend to the a little further to the north, which I'll show you guys the Weather Prediction Center thoughts. You can see here, it's kind of between the two here, but it's a little further north than what some models are showing. And you can see here, now this is quite widespread because we have some uncertainties with some of these rainfall totals, so this is just kind of widespread type of thing. But we do have areas that are showing areas picking up 4 to 5 inches of rain, which is a decent amount of rain for the next 7 days here. And this is kind of happening in just 3 days for some of these places, so that's so yeah on that. And some things may change with this setup here. We'll probably have another update on this sometime this week here. But this is definitely something we're going to have to watch very closely here. And, I do agree with Weather Prediction Center. I almost forgot to mention about that. I do agree with the Weather Prediction Center. We definitely have to watch the trends very closely here. See if malls trend a little further north or a little further south. I think the malls are going to trend a little further north with this setup. But anyways, guys, that's all for guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.